Прежде их было много. Теперь лишь несколько. Охотники, очищающие мир от грязи. Ведьмаки, идеальные машины для убийства. Среди них легенда. Белый волк, чье имя Геральт из Ривии.
Okay, we're at start, so I want to ask you the first question a little bit about the design of the game. Well, how many Slavic locations will be in the game? Because, well, after playing Witcher 2, it felt more like in medieval setting.
Okay.
And, I know, we are fans of Slavic. So
medieval doesn't mean necessarily not Slavic, you know, you can have medieval Slavic and medieval, like we have on Skellige. So for example, we have really two areas in the game. One which is Slavic, how would you say, background, you know, with the methodology and the mythos. Like, for example, you saw this morning during the presentation the three characters, you know, the beautiful ladies of the tapestry. That says, or it should say to you guys as Russians, Baba Yaga.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I wanted to say.
So you get it. That's why I love being here, because you know the Russian crowd, they really get the Slavic nuances and the inspiration. That's the word I was looking for there. So we have Slavic for the whole world really, and the other part there is basically one big island with small islands on around. It's called Skellige. Skellige is more Nordic, so Vikings and so on. So two different themes that you can switch between.
During the game, will we revisit the locations which were in previous games? So, for example, Wyzima or some other towns.
You will. I'm not going to give you names because otherwise the writers back at home are going to slap me for spoiling their good work. But yeah, you will come back to locations that you're familiar with, and it'll be nice. Some of them will be updated, maybe for story reasons. You'll see. Yeah.
So like they will be redesigned, right?
In the what? Sorry?
They will be redesigned.
Not redesigned, but because time has passed.
Yeah.
You know, it can't just be the same, exactly the same. Things happen, you know.
Well, our site is, I know, most famous for PlayStation reviews. So after having such games as Metro and Metro Last Light, Redux versions in the PlayStation Network, we want to ask you: is there a possibility to have Redux versions of Witcher and Witcher 2 for consoles?
There's no plans for those, to be honest with you. I mean, Witcher 2 got it on the 360. You have the Enhanced Edition. Witcher 1, a few people have mentioned it. Right now, first of all, we need to finish Wild Hunt before we think of doing that. It would be a lot of work. It's not something we need to do lightly. So, you know, never say never, but to be honest with you, there's no plans right now.
Talking about the Witcher 3 on consoles, especially on PlayStation 4. Well, for example, we had Skyrim on PlayStation. It was a terrible mess. I don't want to say bad about the game, but PlayStation, it was full of glitches and problems, troubleshooting.
Right.
So about the console version of Witcher 3, it will be a good game without problems.
Yeah, of course. I mean, so far, the development on the console has been pretty painless, to tell you the truth. Now I know that PS3, you know, fortunately the console didn't have any issues, but I know that some devs had more issues with it. So you know, you can't really blame the devs or the consoles, to be honest with you. It's just the way it is. Sometimes it just doesn't work well. But I must say, with PS4. From what I can tell, because I'm not part of the engine team, you know, I can tell you that from what I've seen, Sony's addressed this issue, so I see absolutely no problem. When I look at the builds, I see no problems at all.
Great to hear. Let's talk about the battle system. For example, I'm interested in while we're in fights, should we control the distance between the enemies, or when we press the attack button, press the attack button, computer calculates distance, and well, it's and the battle system is similar to, for example, Batman's free flow.
You mean with the counter system and how it works? No, it's something between, say, we have Assassin's Creed and that's here, and here we have Dark Souls. I would say we are right here. We're closer to Dark Souls. We're not quite as insanely hardcore, but you still have to be really focused when you fight. We're not going to tell you, okay, someone is about to attack you, you need to counter now. So enemies can attack you at the same time. So you don't just counter, wait, counter, like some games do. It's just not, it doesn't really fit the combat that we had as well in Witcher 2. That was very challenging. We wanted to keep it very challenging. We listened to the fans. The fans spoke a lot in the forum. They wanted something that was a lot more responsive. They wanted something that was more responsive, very satisfying as well. That's something I believe we've achieved, especially with the decapitations at the end of the fights. I don't know if you saw. You have the ability now to really pull off some wicked finishing moves. And so, to answer your question, you go, the whole system is quite easy to pick up, but based on the situation and the combination of enemies that you have, then that's where the challenge comes from, really. And we don't hold your hand. That's a theme as well, with the City project.
And well, as the game has the acrobatic system, like we can climb certain locations, we can climb to high places.
Correct.
That kind of stuff. Is climbing or acrobatic implemented in the fights? For example, like it was in Dragon's Dogma.
Right. Okay, I get you. So what you saw is more like climbing, vaulting over. We wanted to improve the traversal mechanic. We wanted the exploration to be smooth, and but we limited to just the static things. Okay, I'm trying to think. You can literally climb mountains now. You can go up ladders, of course, and all the basic things that you are to expect with an upgraded traversal mechanism. But that's it really. You can swim as well. That's another thing. So you can go really high and then really deep into the sea. We got lots of creatures as well for you to be killed by. And as well, so that's the higher you go, the more flying creatures you'll find. And the deeper you go, of course, you'll only find swimming creatures in the sea, but they are pretty unique as well.
By the way, in this game we can swim underwater. Is there some kind of underwater enemies? And I'm not sure we can fight them.
How you can fight them?
No. If there are underwater enemies,
yes.
When you swim, if there is some system to fight them.
Of course, yeah. We make sure that we don't just put some monsters and then you got no options to. Of course, you can fight them. You can use the your crossbow that you saw in the presentation, Gabriel. So you can use that underwater to maybe either slow down incoming enemies, so you got time to get away, or to just kill them, depending on the bolts that you've managed to craft.
Speaking about the character development, it's obvious that Geralt can have some love interest in the game, but besides the main heroine or maybe with them, can he have not one relationship?
I'm not gonna spoil the story, but yeah, I mean it's
just
the
like
same.
Yes or no?
Well, if I tell you yes, you can only have one, then you'll stop trying because you'll know. And if I say no, then you will suddenly change the way that you play because you know you can have more than one. So that's why I don't want to tell you yes or no, because I want you to just have the purest experience. Yeah, but to be fair, in the books, Geralt was always split between multiple women, all of them terrific. And I think you can expect to find similar strong-minded women that I think, are the strongest characters we have in the game as well. I believe women are by far the strongest. Geralt is but a puppet for them. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I want to ask you about something like skins. Well, at least during the game, Geralt equipped in, I don't know, the kind of armor which we saw during this game. But can we alter his looks?
Appearance?
Yes.
You can, to a certain extent. You can maybe change his hairstyle if you come across someone that can help you with that. Barber, maybe. As far as his beard, personally, I wanted to stay like that. I like his beard. The rest, yes, armor, like you said, we have so many sets, and they come in pieces as well. So you need to gather those pieces before you have the whole set. And we released some concept. It's probably a month ago now, which is the bear armor set, and you can have a look and you can see the different tiers of it as well. It's a beautiful set. Some of those are really gorgeous, really gorgeous.
Well, while we were looking at your presentation, I heard that you mentioned Saturday. So, is the game have the system of the days of the week? Or...
No, did I say Saturday?
Yep, I heard like it's very. There are a lot of people. It was sunny days.
It was a sunny day.
I thought it was Saturday.
But
so.
no, we don't have. But we do have the sunny day. So let's look about the sunny day. So, the reason I said sunny day during the presentation is because the save game we play from loads exactly, on a sunny day. The reason we do that is because we want people to see the busy crowds in our city, and the way of doing that is to have a sunny day. So when you have a sunny day, people will come out. If it isn't a sunny day, they won't. If it's during the day or at night, that will of course affect people, and not just people, but also monsters. Some monsters will be stronger, maybe at night. Some during the day, and also on particular time of the day and night.
And well, speaking about the weather itself, is it somehow influenced the monsters too? For example, like if you have rain during the day, is it influences the strength of monsters or the kind of monsters which you
yeah. Some monsters really like water, so when it be more likely to come out, a little bit like frogs, for example, right? Only they're a lot worse than frogs. And so yeah, if it rains and you're in a particular area and those monsters are there, then you should expect a lot more than them, maybe to be stronger, more aggressive as well, because they feel at ease because it's raining. So yeah, you have to take that into account as well, and the time of day as well.
Yeah. Speaking about fast travel, for example, can we fast travel in the game at any moment, or we should go to some places?
We have to go to some places. I don't know if you saw in the presentation, we used these signs.
Yeah, and
that's the system.
Just I was thinking if there is a possibility to free.
This is it. Yeah. So if you really need to get somewhere, you find the nearest. They're marked in your map once you've unlocked them, so you can have a look and it's quite straightforward.
Today we saw the Russian version of the game, so there was a character named Ivasik, and in English version of the game it was called Johnny. So I want to ask you about how many things you have changed in the English and Russian version, for example.
It's part of the localization process. You don't just translate word for word. You ask the locals, okay, this is a name that needs to sound. I'm not talking just about Johnny, just in general. Okay, this guy has a name that is not to be taken seriously. He's a bit of a side character. Is a bit okay. Find something that is similar. Don't care if it's not Johnny, because obviously it sounds different. So, and you have to trust your team. If the Russians tell you that's the name for him, and also that's the voice for the character, then okay, this is it. And to be honest with you, his voice is my favorite. Like the Russian version of Johnny is, to me, the favorite. My favorite. It's the best. They really managed to capture sort of weird ill-looking, ill-sounding. You're not quite sure what it is. I mean, it's clearly a little boy, but it's not quite right, you know. And that voice, as soon as he speaks, you're like, wow, okay, I get it.
During the fights, I saw that the camera tends to show the most impressive moments. For example, when we were using Igni, it was like zoom in and showing that impression. So it's work, I know, with every kind, with most of the moves, right?
Well, the camera is not just there to show you the most impressive angle, but if you're using Igni, the camera better show you who you're setting on fire, you know. The impressiveness comes from the fact that you're setting a guy on fire, that the particles look good, that the sound makes you feel like, you know. So the camera is just going, okay, who you're setting on fire? That guy. And then you go here, and then when we know that you're going around, the camera will go, okay, you know, slicing this guy, and then you're using your crossbow. Okay, we're gonna get close to you, to your shoulder, so you can. It's easier for you to, you know. It's actually pretty straightforward. It just has to be the best angle for you, for the player. And if it's impressive, then that's down to other factors, you know.
Talking about the enemies, can we make them fight each other?
Some of them will fight other enemies simply because they are set. Yeah, they're set to fight them. So I'm trying to think of one in particular, but bandits would be attacked by guards, and that's pretty straightforward. Now, as far as yourself being able to make one fight another, we don't have any plans. I mean, I believe Axie will confuse your enemies, but I think there's a level of Axie as well that allows you to mind control a guy, but he will attack the nearest guy, as far as I remember, because we're still working on those. We're always adding more and more, but so yeah, don't quote me on that. Maybe I'm wrong.
And well, for example, is there such things as quick kill in the game? For example, we can usually go by the back of the enemy, attack him.
Not so much like you're saying with a stealth. If you attack from behind, then you're most likely to kill a guy. Actually, what you could do is we have this heavy attack, so you would go behind a guy, you'd step in, and then you'd slice him in half. Now, if you were to do that from the front, especially if he has a shield, you'd never do that. So, yeah, I guess you could say we have that, but not really in a stealth sort of way. If you do a headshot, so say you go guard from the back, he doesn't have a helmet, headshot, that technically should be an instant kill. And in fact, if you do a headshot, groin shots as well, if you shoot a guy here, it will kill him instantly. There you go.
Talking about the mind control of the enemy, I think it's not likely that we will be able to control each of them, right? Because I think the like big bosses probably can't be controlled.
It really depends on your level, depends on their level. It will be depends on the beast as well. If the beast is known to be a little magical, maybe you simply can't control them. Maybe you can confuse them for only a few seconds at a time. Axie is not always the way to go.
While we were looking at the demos, they brought quite a cruise. There were some cruise scenes. For example, like with the ear of the mayor of the head of the village. So
yes.
is there a lot of such kind of moments in the game? For example, it's just that I already saw that the game can be ugly. For example, with those three sisters, they are
beautiful. Don't you think they are?
They are beautiful in the plans. They terrify you.
Look at my favorite one's the one with the basket on the head, and you know when you play the game, you'll be able to pay more attention to it. But she has grass growing on her back, and she's got this keychain around, and it's I really like the character design. Our character designers, artists, are amazing. These guys spend a lot of time, but it's not so gruesome. I mean, it's the ear bit is unexpected, maybe. But if you're done your research, maybe you would see that other people are missing their ears. And so maybe you would have been able, or should have been able, to notice that there's something going on. So, I mean, it's a dark RPG, you know. We're not going to force any mature themes into it. There'll be sex, violence, or whatnot, you know, unless it makes sense. So we're not going to go, oh yeah, make sure the reward is here. Why? Because they'll cut it and there'll be blood, and oh, that's what we want. No, it's just one of those things that just really made sense as a reward. What could it be? And you don't know until the end. Because you ask people, they see the dagger and they think he has to sacrifice a squirrel, or maybe even cut his own finger or something. No, it's the, so yeah.
Talking about the choices of the game, so besides some dialogue choices which are not influence the game, there are those which influence how the mission will go. So if we, I don't know, it looks like usually there will be like 2 or 3 scenarios for what we will do. No? There will be more?
We have some that have more, they have some that, yeah, because the example we gave you was like A, B, C, okay? But what you don't know is that B turns into D, E, F, and then you have this tree. So yeah, of course the initial options are often 2, 3, 4 maybe, and after it branches out.
It's just, well, if we play the game first time and then while we play the second time, we choose every time we choose another answer to the game. And well, if we play the third time, we choose another answer. How much times we should play the game to have the full experience?
Honestly, it's just...
Or just the most?
It's insane to even try and guess, because the thing is, right, say you've got okay, even with 2 options, okay, you either go A or B, right? The fact that you go B also would maybe unlock a certain quest, which itself has A and B, right? Bear with me. Now, so you would need to play with this one, then you play with this one, then you play with this one going that way, then you play with this one going that way. It's just insane. We got like 7, it's just an insane amount of dialogue that's recorded. Something between, I think it's 50 plus hours of dialogue that's recorded. If you were to press play and order, that's 50 hours. It's insane. It's just, this game is huge. I mean, I don't even know all the quests. I don't know all the quests. I don't even know how the game ends. We have 32 endings. I don't want to know any of them, because I'm gonna play the game, and I don't need to know the endings to do my job well. So I've decided to just avoid spoilers. I don't know how the game ends, and that's cool. You know,
that's great to hear. Really impressive. And well, the last question is probably like a fun question. Any plans for make a JRPG style of game with you know, battle not in real time but on the screen? Yeah, turn-based. Yeah.
No, there's no plan. No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with JRPG, but I think you need to stick to what you do best. You know, what I mean, our strength right now is storytelling. And God, our stories are really good. Really, the writers, I can't stress how good they are. The great storytelling in a mature world with real-time action elements to it, and that's what we do. That's what we do really well. So we're just going to stick with it, you know. So this is it.
Will it be the final game for The Witcher? Or
is this the final one?
Yep. Is this the final, or any plans?
Well, it's definitely Geralt's final chapter. That's for sure. We have the rights to the world of Sapkowski. Right now, there's no plans, to be honest with you. We're just focusing on this. If it makes sense, maybe, but I don't know. Personally, I'm not lying. There's no plans for it yet. So there you go. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we got Cyberpunk 2077, which is our next title.
Everyone waiting.
So, me too. It's awesome. I can't tell you anything about it, unfortunately, but it's cool.
It's okay, I think we will hear about it after Witcher 3 come out.
Oh yeah, of course, but that's the thing. We're focusing on one title, and it's the final chapter. And then, you know, we focus on the next one, and then I'll come hopefully next year to Igromir, and we will sit down and we'll have a chat. And then you can tell me how much you've enjoyed Virtual Wild Hunt. How's that?
That's all. Thank you very much.
No, thanks, mate. Did you like it? Yeah. Good. Thank you for your time, guys.
Вот мы и встретились, Ведьмак.
Император?
Она вернулась, Геральт, после стольких лет.
Ты уверен, что это она?
Да, она в опасности. Очевидцы говорят, что ее преследует Дикая Охота. Ты должен найти ее.
А когда я ее найду, что тогда?
Я дам ей то, что ей причитается.
Белый волк, наконец-то. Я пришел за той, о ком сказано в пророчестве. Любое твое решение приведет к гибели. Любой выбор к большему злу.